First of all, trust no bitch. But do not trust anybody who was never ugly. Do not trust anybody who has never had an ugly duckling face.
It's like, stop and leave them. That was for you.
That
was just for you. I looked you right in the eye. That was honest. That for you. Just like.
Why do we always wear the same thing?
I don't know. Now I'm kind of
I
sweating too.
like it.
Oh, hey, babe. How you doing? Hey. Hello. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Well,
How you
hello.
doing? I'm good.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, we just stared into each other's eyes and moaned for 30 seconds, so I feel great.
Welcome to the program. Thanks for coming
Welcome back to the chaos.
Babe, got to ask you the question. We always. Oh man. Did you have sex this week?
You know, I didn't. Yet again.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
The silence that you afforded me just now, it was rude.
I was trying to give you something. I was trying to give you that
Give me what?
space to elaborate on your not having sex.
I'm not having sex right now, and not as a purposeful thing, just as like I have other things to do
Work.
right now.
Literally.
And if it falls into my lap, listen, here we are, literally
If
and
it
figuratively.
falls into her lap.
Falls into my lap, then fine. But if I'm not out here right now, like
Fishing. Plenty of fish. Reeling them in.
not.
Charades.
Nah.
The sex charades.
And I'm not going to say I'm too old. I'm not going to say I'm too old because I hate when people say things like that because I think age has nothing to do with it. But I will say right now, in the realest way,
Yeah?
I am too tired.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
if I go out, listen, if I go out and you see me out in these streets and you feel some type of way below your belt, come through. I am not doing any work.
Okay. That's fair. That's
so
fair.
that's how I feel. Did you get laid over the weekend? I already know this answer.
I did. Hey. I did. Yeah, I did. A lot.
Define a lot.
Like, you want a number?
No, I just mean like
Like, my
what-
body's tired.
Okay. Your holes are exhausted.
Every part of me is tired. Every part of me is tired. Yeah, I mean, we're having, me and this guy are having sex.
Mm-hmm.
We're, I think, we're taking it to that next place, y'all. We're going into that next layer of relationships. Thank you. And so the sex is changing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And
Like-
that's what I was going to ask you next.
Yeah. Like, the first time that you have sex, like, I don't know. The first time we had sex, it was very emotional. It was like, oh my God, this is what you feel like. This is what it's like to, be inside of you. And like, there's that like moment you have where you're like looking at each other's eyes and you're like, this feels right. This feels good.
That Family Guy moment. Do you feel me? Do you feel me inside of you?
Yeah. Oh man. and then it shifts, right? Because then like the next time you're fucking, like you're not doing that sort of like, this is really nice. You're like, fuck me harder. You
Wow.
know? Then you and then it goes back into this thing of like, wow, like we like this. I like this with you. I like doing this. We're learning. What do you actually want me to do to you now that we like have moved through the motions? And so sex is different. And that made me really think about how there are so many different versions of sex.
True.
There are so many different versions of sex.
Well,
and so we have been playing around in a sphere of things, but
I have so many questions for you about this.
Yeah.
And then I will obviously volunteer my own information.
Yeah,
but what's your favorite kind of sex?
I like having rough sex with someone I know who loves me.
I knew it.
That's my favorite. Like I want to know that I'm safe with you, but I also want you to like take it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do like that.
I love that song.
I love that song.
Okay.
What about you?
No, wait.
Oh shit. Okay.
We're not done.
Sorry.
I just am curious to know, when do you feel comfortable asking for what you need sexually? Like, when is the threshold, or is it off the bat? Are you like, this is what we're a second date. This is we're both clear. This is what I like. This is what I want. Fuck me harder.
No, I think it's a journey, right? Like I think the first time I do like having a conversation before where I'm like, hey, what do you like to do in bed? And that doesn't need to be explicit. It just is like, what do you like to do? Do you like to be fast and like quick and like maybe multiple rounds? Are you into like the long road? Like, are you into, what are you into?
Long road.
I'm into the long road. I want to have sex for an hour. I'm not here for
That's the long road? That's
mean,
the long road.
listen.
Miriam said, "Hey,
Hey.
on behalf of all of the
I mean,
long roads,
an hour and a
roaders
half,
out
and I
there."
feel like an hour and a half, 2 hours is the most that I probably can take on,
Fair.
frankly.
See,
No matter what
I-
we're doing, no matter what we're
Ooh.
doing, an hour and a half, I just also like I've come by then. Full stop. If you're getting me at 2 hours, we're edging. That's what we have decided to do.
But coming, okay, well, I guess, and this is the difference in our anatomy, right? Like, coming isn't the end game for me. Coming is like the beginning of everything.
Okay, walk me through that process.
Okay, I just mean,
what
like-
sort of memento energy. Walk
So
me
my sex
through-
life is directed by Iñárritu.
Yeah, like, tell me, Christopher Nolan.
Just 21 grams. I
Wow.
well, you said memento. I thought disjointed. Should
Yeah,
I
no,
track
go
it?
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, and for a lot of vaginas, a lot of vagina.
A lot of vaginas.
Are capable of multiple orgasms. And so
Fair.
when you start off, ideally, the first orgasm is your entree.
Mm.
It's like how they always say motivation happens after the first step. Like you're not motivated
Yeah.
until you've done the thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of I won't say you're not motivated, but I will say your body is more like, okay, I'm ready, I'm relaxed. Let's go at it. At least for me.
That's cool.
So like ideally, it's not just like pound, pound, pound. You come. I know. I keep doing it.
You
I'm
keep
so
every
sorry.
episode just pounding. It's like, what is this? Why does it have to be like that?
Says the man who literally. I'm just gonna repeat the phrase to you. Fuck me harder.
Yeah, but that's not this. This sounds. It's hurting my
Is that
hand.
not? Is that not what that is? Okay. So
Did you look around the room for like consensus?
I did.
How rude.
I did. So for me, I think I've learned in my own body that sex, I do. It's funny. Like there is this idea that I like. The being thrown against a wall, being whatever, having the rough, hard time of my life. I do, but in order for me to actively enjoy that and possibly come from it and like actually achieve climax from it, I probably have to have like made love to you before. Like
That's fair. I understand now.
I can't just go from like we're on a date and then we had rough sex in the bathroom, and I had a great time. I also always think sex is fun. Regardless
Yeah.
of whether I come or not, regardless of whether we're going to date or not.
Sure.
But I also think, there's having sex, there's making love, there's
Fucking.
and everything in between. So
And there's everything in between, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause that's the thing I was thinking about. It's like, when this guy and I started dating, we weren't having any sex, but like we were still having intimacy, right? And there's that version of sex where you're not having sex. I don't know how to explain that. That's like that to me is like step one. It's like
Yeah.
where you're just like exploring body parts.
Yeah.
And you're like feeling what it feels like to just have that person like on top of you, or like,
Yes.
just like their hair in your hand or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then from there, you've got sort of we didn't have this, but then I imagine you have the sort of like the fucking go sort of situation with a lot of people, right? There's like sex for sex sake. You know what I mean? Yeah, you do. I know
Fucking
you do.
go.
Fucking go.
I'm the go.
You're the go?
I leave. I don't have sex in my house unless we're dating.
Okay.
You cannot come to my home unless we're
We
dating.
will unpack that in a further episode. That sounds like a
I just
hefty
like the
step.
freedom to leave.
That's fair. Freedom. She wants to be able to leave.
I want to be able to be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Or it's like 8 a.m. or it's 9 a.m. Let's have coffee. Let's walk the dog. Let's do the thing. I don't care. It's not like I'm leaving in the middle of the night, but like I do like.
Oh,
the
it does
freedom
feel
to
like
leave.
maybe you're leaving in the middle of the
I
night.
am not. I have before, but I am not always, nor not, and not really as much anymore. I think for me, it's just like
Because okay, so but I want to
Yeah, no,
intrude
go back,
here
go
of
back.
like I think that's not the fucking go. That's the like
Fair.
you have that's it's not a one night stand, but you're edging into that place of like now I'm sleeping here and there is going to be a walk of shame moment, for lack of a better word. I don't know if I love that term anymore.
I don't either because it's not
It's
shameful.
a walk of power.
Yeah.
And so let's reclaim that. We're gonna change that
Walk
and
of
call
power.
Webster. And then that's the difference. I think fucking go like you're not staying there.
No.
Whereas if you stay there, that's a different sexual experience. Like
what you
waking
mean.
up with
I see
someone,
what you mean.
And particularly if there's a man involved, there's something hard pressed up against you, most likely. That's a different experience.
Never again.
Is it this?
Never. Never again. Oh my god.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's different when you wake up and there's a cock pressed against your back or whatever.
You did that to upset me.
He did. She hates the word cock.
He
It's
did that
incredible.
literally just
It's incredible.
to make me upset.
You know, and that's a different sort of intimate relationship experience.
Wait, okay, so talk to me more about Fuck and Go. Fuck and Go ideally is like I met you.
Fucking goes like the grinder of it all. Do you know what I
fair.
mean?
Or like we fucked in the steam room at the gym and now we know. Bye.
Right. Or like I met you at a bar and I was like, hey, you're hot. Then you have a few drinks and you're like, you want to come home with me? Yes. Come home with me. Have fun. Thanks for coming. Do you want me to walk you to your car? Do you want me to call you a car? Do you want anything? Or you know what I mean? Where it's like clearly like you're not staying
Oh my God, the opulence of, do you want me to call you a car? I
He should always call you a car.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like it should always
call
be
you
a
a
luxurious
car.
experience.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it could be a lift. It doesn't have to be like a black car, but I mean, ideally, it's
But if it
like
was,
a delicious.
That's true.
Yeah.
We want a black car.
We
I want a black car.
I want an Escalade.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, for having sex, spend the $100 to send me home.
To send me the 0.5 miles to my home. Yeah, no, absolutely. But okay. You said we meet at a bar.
Yeah.
We go,
Yeah, we do
stare
that.
into each other's eyes and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And then is the consent part. So this is my question for you
Yeah.
because you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
There are moments, right? Like you're starting to get serious with this person. So you've had conversations that are about consent. And something I've learned this year through conversation and research, consent is a multi-layered experience.
Yeah.
It's more than just, is it okay if we have sex? It's like, can I touch you there? Is it okay if I can, like literally even emotionally, can I support you this way?
Right.
Can I touch you that? No, but truly at every single step, especially if you're entering into a relationship,
Yeah.
is a different moment of consent.
Totally.
Now,
Consent is hot.
Consent
Consent is
is very
sexy.
hot.
Get consent all the time. Because
100%.
I also find in the act of getting consent, you also then get other information.
Right.
That is so
Important.
helpful.
Yeah. But I will also say that the level of consent that I am asking for, that I require, does depend on the nature of the connection that I'm about to have. If it is a fucking go, if it is like, I don't even need to know your name,
Yeah.
it's going to be like, is it okay if, and that's the only question I'm going to ask.
What was the end of that question?
If we have sex.
Just like that. It's okay if we have a sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then that's it. Like,
Right.
I don't want to know.
Because in the realm of that,
Anything
you're
else.
assuming that like you're gonna be okay.
Right.
Right.
Right. But I also like, is that the same for you? Or are you asking for consent with the same level of rigor every time?
No, if it's a fucking go.
Okay. This is the
Well, no, but I do think there are things of like, okay, so is it okay if I do this? Like, there are certain things that I'm like, I have to ask someone
Yeah.
before I like, por ejemplo, before I spit in their mouth. I need to ask them if I can spit in their mouth.
We are going to do a whole other episode on you.
Do you know what I mean? Like
spitting in people's mouths.
Is that what spit in your mouth before?
I would not want that for myself.
Leave Aria alone.
No. You can do. Miriam is Team Aria.
Yeah. at this
You
point.
can do whatever you need to
Yeah.
do.
But you know what I mean? There's certain things like even if we're in the act already, there's still things that I'm like, if like, you know, gonna get consent. Gotta get consent before you spit in someone's mouth, before you like hit them,
Before
whatever
you-
it might
wow.
be.
Before you, 100. No, that's 100% right.
Did I lie?
No, you did it. He didn't. There was no lie. There was no lie found. Also, before you come in someone's mouth or
Come anywhere.
anywhere,
Come anywhere.
anywhere.
You gotta ask.
That is something that people forget.
Yeah.
People leave that level of consent out.
No,
It's
that's
like,
the
I'm
most
gonna
important
come.
question.
Oh no.
No,
Where?
him coming inside you?
Was
What was,
no,
oh,
no? Oh
no?
no was like wherever I'm going to do it. Whether
Okay.
it's I pull out and come on your tits or on your. Did you know that these are my tits?
like,
or my
looked
belly
straight at
or
them.
whatever. Like there isn't really a conversation always. I have to be like, where are you going to?
Fuck.
Depending. I don't
I don't
always
love
have to be
that.
that way, but yet no, I can't speak for all men, but I would say a lot of cishet men are just like, I'm definitely not gonna come inside of you, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna necessarily talk about where either.
My game was thankfully I actually think most guys end up asking, like, particularly if I'm bottoming. If I'm topping, it's a different situation, I suppose. In that like I have to ask you like, where do you want me to come?
Yeah. Well, but again, I have to
And
ask
that
you
question
see that.
but that question should come from, in my opinion,
the top.
the top.
I 100% agree. I mean, I am a power bottom, so I do feel I do feel like I can be like, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can ask
What are you
anything.
gonna do? And where are you
If
gonna do
someone's
it?
inside of you, you can ask anything you want. In my
100%,
opinion.
100%.
That is my general rule
Okay,
of
wait.
thumb.
So back to the different types of sex because
Yes.
I'm curious to know because I agree with you. It does change. The word that you used earlier was that it evolves and devolves.
It
Which
does.
is true, and I think that wow, relationship sex.
Yeah, relationship sex is a different game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
'Cause-
you know each other.
You know each other, and then you play this game, right? Of like we're like sex becomes like an appendage of your relationship in which like you have to like take care of that thing and you have to keep that thing alive and that thing has to keep changing and it has to keep being exciting and it can't always be the same. Like where is it happening? How is it evolving? You know what I mean? It becomes like a plant that you take care of together, that you are watering together.
Right. And also
Didn't love that analogy.
didn't
but
love that
whatever.
analogy, but I was
Whatever.
going to let you do what you needed to
Yeah, I
do.
didn't love it.
But I also think that like similarly to food and parenting, like sex should never be used as reward or punishment. I think sex is sex. I think it's I've known of a couple girls to be like, well, we got into a fight and he left the whatever out, so
Oh, but I'm
he's
into
not
sex
getting
as
head.
reward though. I like sex.
I mean,
as
of
reward.
course, sex is reward, fine,
Yeah.
but like.
Like if if we have a really nice date and he orchestrates the whole thing and like it's beautiful and I'm feeling away, like yeah, I'm gonna do the work.
Okay, but are you giving treats? Like, is it like, oh, like, well,
what are-
now you get seven
no,
blowjobs this week?
Jesus Christ, no. It's not an advent calendar of my body.
Well, that's what I'm
just
saying.
like, it's more just like
Advent calendar.
it's
Very
me being
seasonal.
like it's just me being like now I'm excited to have sex with you and like I'm ready to like rock your shit.
Right.
Because like you've done such a nice thing for me.
Stop.
It's ass stuff. I don't know what to tell
Oh,
you.
I'm ready.
Rock on, kids. You keep it sane. You
We
keep it
were
good.
slightly emo. We were.
We were.
We both did.
But you know
that.
what I mean? Though you want
Yeah.
I think reward sex as celebration rather. I would say
yes.
rather celebration than reward.
But that's organic to me. I mean, this idea that like you didn't do what I needed you to
No,
do, so
that's
now
catty.
you don't get sex. Like, oh my god.
You know, it's sort of like Lysistrata energy is that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
And
is
so-
giving ancient Greece.
But I agree with you. I do think it's something that maybe not a plant, but it is something that you tend
You do.
together.
Yeah.
It is something that you. And how would you say? Because you've been in more long-term relationships than I have. How would you say you've been able to keep sex alive, or not alive, or honor the moments of like, "Ugh, I can't.
Well, you see, we have the pleasure of being able to flip. I think the flipping in terms of who's topping, who's
Wow.
bottoming really does.
I mean, so do we. We talked about pegging.
Yeah, it changes. That to me is always the fun thing.
Yeah.
I also just am averse in general, so like it doesn't matter. Like for me, I'm like you can fuck me, I can fuck you, but I do think that like that continual shift is important to understand.
Yeah.
When you're like, how is this relationship going to keep going, and
Yeah.
how is the sex not going to become like, oh, you like this, I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to kiss you here, and then like your nipple, and then you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, I do.
You know, like you gotta, it's just like there's more fun to have, and like there's more sort of opportunity to like you know, to like make it different, make it better. So I don't know. I think about it as something of like it's not so much keep it surprising, keep it interesting, but like keep it honest and keep it open.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Because then like I do think there is the sort of like sex for sex sake in a bad way also, right? Like there's sex for sex sake in the fun way.
Yeah.
Then there's the sex you're just having because you're like, this is my boyfriend now, we have to have sex. And like that, yeah, but that happens. That does happen. I think everyone knows her and knows that version of sex. I think everyone knows what that is. And it's sort of like, you know it's happening. Everyone knows what it feels like. And then when it's over, you're like, okay, thanks. I'm going to go have a cigarette now. You know what I mean? Like, and that just happens sometimes. And that doesn't mean your relationship is dead. But
No,
there
but it
is sex
does
for
mean
sex
that
sake.
again. It does mean that you're sort of not tending.
Yeah.
And
Or like it's just, you know, I think a lot of people maybe would rather do that than not have sex at all.
yes, and I would say we should also normalize not having sex
Yeah.
at all. Sometimes with your partner, you do need a second. Sometimes you need a break from each other, and that doesn't mean again. That
Oh, but
doesn't
that's
mean
hard to explain to someone. And then that person goes into
100%,
their head and then they're
100%.
spiraling about like this person is falling out of love with me or whatever.
right or doesn't think I'm attractive anymore, which is horrible.
Miserable.
But I do think all of this, I think the tending, all that we're saying is that it requires like
You pointed to the
Gesture
plant.
to the
You
plant.
pointed to the plant.
I think
like,
it
what
just
the-
requires requires like a really high level of emotional maturity and communication. And I think sex does in general.
Right. And then like as you go in through your relationship, you get into fights, then you have makeup sex.
That's my exact, you read my
yeah.
mind.
You know what I mean? Like
I
makeup
do.
sex is a specific type of sex because you're still maybe a little angry
Oh my God.
and you're still like a little tense. And then you're finding it. You're like refinding your love with someone.
Yeah. Or you're also like repairing things that maybe you weren't able to say without even saying
Yes.
it. You're like, ugh.
Doing it with
You're
your body.
annoying, but when you do that, I love you.
Yeah.
And I love that you know me like
Love,
that.
it's that.
Yeah.
It's that part where you're like,
Yeah.
no, this person gets me.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then there's breakup sex, which is
Yeah.
horrible but necessary.
I will say, the breakup sex that I've had in my life has been incredible. But I also had the luxury of like, to all my exes out there, you know, all my ex-boyfriends and ex-partners and I have mostly, I would say 90% of them, we've ended really well. Like it was.
Are you friends with them?
That's a big word.
No, I agree. I don't do that.
No, I mean, if I saw any of them in public, I would go say hello. And if it was just us to be like, do you want to grab a coffee? Yeah, I would do that. Not like things are good like that. But yeah, the breakup sex has been great. I also think that like there is this moment of knowing when it's going to end.
Yes.
That you're like, now we
Yes.
can really do this.
Yeah, and you also kind
You
of
know?
know in your body that it's the last time
time.
you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think is what I appreciate because I don't necessarily believe in closure. I think closure is something you give yourself.
Yes.
But I do think that there is something about the agreement of like, and this is the last time that this will go in here and that you will do this to me, and that's okay.
Yeah. It is okay. It's
Yeah.
great.
But it also can be, I've also known it to be a little bit of a crutch. Like instead of actually, you looking at my sequence?
Yeah. Sorry, distracted. But it was like, suddenly I was like a dog. I was like, glitter.
No, yeah, like after all it's said and done, after all of the fights, after the agreement that we're done, I don't know how to divest from you physically. And I think there's a lot of folks who hold on to sort of the threads of a connection, of a relationship by sex. They like prolong the actual separation process and the actual detangling process by still having sex. And I don't necessarily agree with that either.
No, I think if you're breaking up, you're breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Have the breakup sex. Enjoy the breakup sex. Have it be fun. Have it be great. Have it be long.
Right.
And then, like, for lack of a better word, shake hands and walk away.
Yeah, and be done.
Be done.
Yeah.
Cleanse yourself of that.
Yeah, I'm sure you could go back and have more sex, but be done.
Yeah, you can. But, like, there are other ways that you can be having sex.
100%.
That you don't need to do that.
Now let's talk about hate sex.
Oh, my God. Fuck. The hard left. Let's talk about hate fucking. Yeah, okay, let's talk about it.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
He has.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Tell me about it. Okay, I'm ready. Does it make you cringe when you think about it now?
Yeah,
Is that why you're having a moment?
yeah, it does make me
Yeah,
cringe a bit.
yeah.
I like don't like hate fucking. I like don't enjoy it. I don't like weaponizing sex like that. You know, it's not very. Yeah, take a big gulp, sis. We're going in. Yeah, I mean, we went on a date. Fine, story time. We went on a date. I didn't like him, but he was hot, and he was hot.
Yep.
And I might have hated him personally, but the sexual energy was real, and I wanted that, and so I did it, and it was fun because I hated him,
Yeah.
and it was fun because there is all the emotions that go into that. The way, honestly, the thing that I remember walking to my car and getting in the car and being like, wow, that's not how I have sex. Like the things that I was doing, the way that I was acting, the way that I was having sex with that man is not the way I have sex ever.
No, but and also partially because you're not necessarily trying to take care of them in the same
No,
way.
not at
right?
all.
You're just like, ugh.
I'm doing the opposite of taking
Right,
care
right,
of him.
right,
Got his
right.
consent before.
No, of course.
But then, sorry, bro. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to get off and you're going to be here.
You'll get off too.
Yeah,
no,
no,
you'll get off too. You fucking asshole.
You will also get off.
You too will come. But, I did like him. No, I didn't like him. Have you?
I haven't had, I won't say hate sex
Okay.
because if I don't like you, like,
Yeah.
you just won't see me. Like,
Sure.
they're just goodbye. But I have had like, I don't like you that much. I've
Is
had
this
like,
sympathy sex?
I have had sympathy sex.
Fuck. Oh, I
And
don't do that. Talk to me about that.
I feel guilty. I do feel guilty about the couple times that I've had sympathy sex because it's been like, oh
Oh no.
Oh, you like me. Fuck. All right. Okay. Let's have a conversation about how I don't like you. And then yeah, I know.
And then from there, the
first
next
time,
step
yes,
is like
100%.
leg up.
So it was yes, 100%. It was a friend's coworker. We had a long conversation. I literally had flirted with somebody else in front of him.
Okay.
And I kept talking about this other person all day because he was like my number one in that moment. And I did end up having sex with my number one
Good.
later. But I was like, listen, I really think you're amazing. I think that as horrible as it sounds, I do want us to be friends in some way. And if you can't do that, you let me know. But I think this is a valuable connection. This person is also like the same height as me, which is just,
That's tough.
it's not their fault.
No, it's not. It's
And
not their
that
fault.
person, that has nothing to do with, that's not true. That's not the whole reason that I'm not attracted to them. Like for me, it's also, yes, I can be physically attracted to you, but it's also about
Yeah,
who you are.
totally.
And that person is like, it's because I wished that I liked him.
Okay, so talk to me about you're having sex with this person.
So I have that conversation. We end up hanging out for the rest of the day. We had done edibles in the morning, so we were all just like, bleh. And we were all at my other friend's house to take a nap.
What is this day?
I
This is the
know.
weirdest
This is
day.
no, this is like a classic weird New York hungover weekend.
Oh, it's a New
Do you know
York
what I
day.
mean?
Yeah, it's a New York day.
So we were all, you're all in the same place for a long time together, and you're just traveling in groups. So we go. There's like four of us, my best friend and her boyfriend at the time, and then me and this guy, and we then ended up at someone's. I think it was his apartment actually. And so I was doing work. Everybody fell asleep and took a nap, and he came out and was like, "Just take a nap." Like, everyone's asleep. You're tired. We're going to go out in a couple hours. Just take a nap. And I'm like, but the couch is taken, and the only other spot is your bed. And he's like, we had our conversation. I'm not going to try anything. It's totally fine. We got into bed, and it's like two people in bed. I don't know. Like, I
don't love it.
I know.
I don't love that
But
he told
it
you
was-
nothing was going to happen, then you got into bed and then something
but
happened. Unless it was you.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I won't say it was entirely him. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. I did turn over. I just remember we were like butt to butt for a second, and then I turned over.
You're blocking your voice. You got to come closer. Tell
and
them.
then I turned over, and then he turned over, and it was just sort of like I knew it. Like, I felt it in my head. I was like, the minute I got into that bed, I was like, there's no
Yeah, no,
way
you do.
that we're not
No,
gonna have
you
sex.
do.
I did 100%.
You weren't lying.
And
Sorry, I just have questions about you're in the act. That person is inside of you. Are you like online shopping in your mind? What are you doing during this sympathy sex? Are you looking at this man and being like, how did I get here? Like, what is happening to you in that moment? Because because let's create some contrast. The hate fucking, I knew what I was doing.
You're both just like, I hate you,
I was
I
like,
hate you, I hate you, I hate
so
you.
fucking much. But what are you thinking? You're like, I feel bad for you. Like, what's running through your mind?
If I'm honest, I'm not online shopping, but I'm also not online shopping. Do you know what
No,
I
I
mean?
do.
Like, I'm not present because like someone's inside of me at this point. So I'm not like, oh, that's like, I definitely was present for it. And there just were no feelings attached to it. It was just the act. It was just sex. That's the point. It was sex devoid of anything else.
Okay, so let me ask you
Did I
this.
enjoy it? Yes.
You did.
I
You did.
did.
That was my question. Because my follow-up question was like, was he just having sex with you, or were you also having sex with him?
I was also having sex with him. Did
Okay.
I come? No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he come? Yes.
Of course he did.
Right. So, and then we all went out after. We
And
all
then-
literally
yeah.
spent the rest of the day together, and it was fine.
And do you regret doing it?
Do I regret doing it? No, but I do know that forever, whenever we see each other, because he is somebody who is still in my life, as we decided, every time I see him, I'm just like, oh my God, remember when? I think I even left my sweater on. Like, I was wearing a sweater in the bed, and I think we literally had sex with my sweater on.
What the hell, man?
I know. I
Jesus.
know. And I've only had sympathy sex like once or twice. I think the second time I was like drunk at a party in London, and I was just
Oh my God, it
like,
happened again? What's wrong with you?
nothing is wrong with me. Nothing,
Sorry, I don't mean to
listen,
shame you. I don't mean to
listen,
shame you.
Interrupt.
I don't mean to shame you.
Nothing is wrong with me. Also, you couldn't even shame me if you tried.
I know, but I don't want to insinuate that, like, what's wrong with you? Just sort of like, you don't like him. You
No,
don't like
100%,
him.
but
You blatantly don't like him.
Ask. I know. I'm sorry.
That's probably what it was like.
You keep moaning, and I keep doing that.
Yeah.
I ask a lot of cishet women if they've had sympathy sex.
No,
And
I
I'm
believe it.
sure
I
they
believe
will
it.
tell you yes.
Hey, I'm sure there's someone in my body count who had sympathy sex with me. I get it.
I mean, it comes from the same, in my body count, I'm dead. It comes from the same, I would say, or a similar impulse as faking an orgasm. Because you're like, I just don't want to, I don't want you to feel bad. I just don't want you to feel bad
Yeah.
because I know how vulnerable this is.
Yeah.
And you are at that point, like, it's crazy. You are in a position of power. You are entirely
Totally,
in a position
100%.
of power. And I
You're
won't
Queen
say,
of Sheba over there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I won't say it feels great, but it does. It's nice to be worshipped sometimes.
100%.
Okay. Speaking of,
Yes.
what is the most like decadent sexual experience you've had? Like, not like just like every hole filled, every whim satisfied, every just like
I will
decadent.
say, for when you said the word decadence, my my brain went to like the where more than the what.
Sure.
Like, there's a place in Palm Springs that I really like to go. And it is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And the rooms are stunning. And there's water features outside. And like, it's Mediterranean themed. I love it there. And it is stunning. And it's a small hotel. There's like 12 rooms in total.
Okay.
It is decadent in its own way. Okay. And there's a thing, I don't know, I think, and we're going to talk about public sex in, I think, the next episode of this.
Yes, we are.
But, I want to talk about like how the environment in which you have sex with someone, for me, can really change it all.
What do you mean it
right?
can? It does.
Yeah,
Like,
because,
if you're
like-
having sex in an alley, you're probably fucking.
Right.
If you're having sex at a
Resort, full stop,
yeah,
5-star resort.
yeah,
let's not
yeah.
underplay it. Yeah, it changed. It felt a fairy tale esque, if you will. Like it felt inherently super romantic. It felt like the kind of life that like we were maybe never going to be afforded. Where like this was
Yeah.
sort of like it just was this beautiful thing, and on top of that, the sex was very good, and I really liked that person.
Yeah.
And so that to me is like the decadence was like the environment and that person and like the vibe, and like it was hot outside. Like we had to like take our clothes off the moment we got into the suite. You know what I mean? Like everything
Sweet.
about it was
sweet.
decadence.
Sweet.
You know what I mean? Like it just was. It was that.
I do know what you mean.
You know.
I think I had the most decadent sex of my life in Ibiza.
I believe that. Wait. So were you talking about this with me about like how then because you had such decadent sex, then when you like went into the world, people were like, "You two are."
Oh my God! It was like we were dripping in it. They
Yeah.
were all just like, "Oh, you guys are just beautiful together." And I literally called my sister. I was like, "Too bad we're not in love because whatever this is." I mean, we had honeymoon sex without getting married.
That.
It was like I had sex on a balcony in a thunderstorm. It was insane.
Oh my God.
No,
yeah,
100%.
I think that is the same exact thing that I'm talking about in Palm Springs.
Right,
It was a
right.
honeymoon sex moment.
Yes. And I think that's interesting that for us the idea of decadence and opulence is in the form of honeymoon.
Totally.
Whereas I think for some people I would say decadence or opulence, and they would think like illicit sex, like dirty.
Right, no, I don't think that.
What's the dirtiest sex you've ever had?
Dirtiest sex I ever had.
I mean, I guess the dirty is hard because there's like a whole
Yeah,
bunch
it
of
depends on
different
how you.
definitions, but
Depends on what you think is dirty.
what's dirty?
I would say a dark room probably.
Okay.
That's dirty.
I was gonna say
that's
dirty,
random.
dirty with 2 R's.
That's
Christina.
very that.
Yeah.
Very dirty with 2 R's.
Yes.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Yes. Very that.
God, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Featuring Redman. Yeah. It was very
Featuring
that. Redman.
This sex was featuring Redman.
Yeah. Yeah. The decadence is you can't have that all the time, and you can't have the dirty all the time.
No.
But when it comes around, you should do it because I do think that like it's fun and it's different, and in my experience, it's very unique and helpful. So I think you should lean into it, particularly the honeymoon stuff. I just love that because as long as you're not getting warped inside of that space and you're not like feeling yourself like disappearing into the chaos of like, what is this? Who is he? Where are we? It's really beautiful.
Yeah,
And-
or if you're actually on your honeymoon, like as long as you're not catching feelings. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
like,
meanwhile,
people
people
are
actually
getting
are getting married,
Yeah.
yeah.
But also, I think for me, it was having sex with somebody I should have stopped having sex with, and it was like it was the last time we had sex, and I just was like, this is gonna be the last time we have sex, and I wanted.
So you were blending breakup sex and decadent sex together to create your sort of like
to create a situation where this person ended up breaking his foot during.
Uh-huh. Oh, right.
It was messy. It was
Cirque du Soleil.
And I
for
think
you.
I said this before. I'm usually like a lazy lover. I'm a pillow princess, baby. I want to lie down. But
Not that time.
no, that time we were like full vinyasa flow,
Good for you.
kickboxing.
So unlike kickboxing.
No,
Holy
not
hell.
literally horrible. But I just think that like, if you're not, right? You know what kind of things you crave in the moment. And I think it's so funny that we all kind of do have this inner radar of like, this is what I want right now.
Yeah.
And there are moments where you're like, actually, no, I don't want that. Like there are moments where you're like, actually slower, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not always fuck me harder.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just be
not.
fucking clear.
Now, back to your conversation about the long road being an hour. I am the kind of person who could have sex for several hours on end. Like,
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I'm going to get out of the bed at some point and I'll come back to the bed. It's not like I'm just,
yeah, no, that's all a part of it, though.
Yeah. But that's, yeah, I see.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and please don't tell me that we're gonna build up all of this chemistry to go back and go back to wherever we're going back to and have sex for 45 minutes and then be like, okay, no.
Yeah, no, not
Like,
at all.
I absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. I want it to. I'm such a Taurus in this way. Like I am such a sensory pleasure person. Like I need to be completely immersed to be able to enjoy sex
Yeah.
in every aspect of it, or I go somewhere else.
Right.
And I think that for me, just having sex has sort of lost its sheen.
Yeah.
I think I was totally, and even fucking, like, I do enjoy it.
If my thing with fucking right now is if it's a part of an ecosystem.
Yes.
A fucking cannot be the only thing on the menu, but it
No.
has to be on the menu.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
And there will be nights where I select it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
days and
Yeah,
afternoons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I agree with that. Now, let's talk intimacy before we wrap up. I'm
Sure.
curious because I think you hear the word intimacy and people go sex, but that's
No,
not what
no,
that is.
no.
Like intimacy is intimacy tied into your experience of enjoying sex?
That feels loaded. I don't know. Because when you say intimacy, I'll be totally transparent with you. You say intimacy, what I think about is like being shirtless in bed reading a book together.
Same.
Like intimacy to me is like he's walking my dog.
Wow. Intimacy to me is like I'm popping your back pimple. Like,
Right. Huh. Yeah, like
Horrible.
intimacy to me is like I'm opening the door for him every time he gets into my car. Like that's intimacy for me.
Go Gila. She raised me
Yeah,
right.
she raised me right. Oh, that's my mom's name.
Sorry about
Yeah, no, that to me is intimacy. Of course, there's intimacy in sex of like, can I do this to you? Is that okay? Like that's intimacy in a way. Yeah, you fucking like it.
that fucking voice. Can I do this?
Hey, do you mind if I do this to you? Is that okay?
Is
There's intimacy in sex, and of course, what I think is there's the intimacy to sex pipeline, if you will.
I hate
Like, you know what I mean? All those acts of intimacy make the sex undescribable.
Yeah. I just want to say also apologies, everyone. We know far too much. Like I cannot believe you just used the word pipeline. The intimacy industrial complex. We just like know way too much. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think for me, I think I realized, I think because I was a late bloomer, also like, I just want to say out loud, y'all, do not trust. First of all, trust no bitch, but do not trust anybody who was never ugly. Do not trust anybody who has never had an ugly duckling face.
It's like, stop it. Leave them alone.
You know why?
Some people have just been pretty.
No. And that's right. And they can go be with those other people that are not pretty. I mean, that are pretty, excuse me, that have
Okay.
always been pretty. Because you know what? It has totally, because I was a late bloomer, there were so many things that I had to learn about what I was able to ask for and like leagues and intimacy and like who was able to be in my space and who wasn't. And I think as a result, I had a lot of like shitty, connectionless, meaningless, completely devoid of any level of intimacy sex.
That's fair. I understand. I'm sorry I put my hand in your face. I didn't mean to like actively protect hot people.
Yeah, like they are fine.
Like I'm sorry.
They are
sorry,
fine.
hotties. I'm
Oh
sorry,
my
hotties.
God.
My apologies to the hotties.
Well, Ari's like, I was never ugly. What are you
never
talking
ugly. What are you
about?
talking
No,
about?
yeah. My mom takes it personally when I say that. She's
Hey,
like,
Jim,
you
she
could
does.
never have been ugly because you are my child.
Yeah, absolutely.
But-
That's your mom's job. Your mom needs to do that.
100%.
Yeah.
She sees it as an extension of herself.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, my dad is like, yeah, you had your moment.
That's dad's for you. Yeah.
But I do think that affected the way that I moved through understanding sex.
Yeah.
And I now all I crave. I don't only want to make love, but like I kind of only want to make love sometimes.
And you can. That's on the menu, and you choose the things that you want on the menu. But then I also think as long as you're, this is my personal opinion, that like as long as sometimes like your partner gets to choose from the menu too.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, it's a constant conversation, right? And like
100%.
ideally, you're meeting each other in the middle, and you're even if you're not necessarily like minded, you respect each other enough to do both, to
Right.
do whatever each other needs. I do think that. I think that intimacy has taught me that sex does, like I think I really didn't understand, and this is part due to porn as well. Like I didn't understand that the best sex is the most vulnerable. The best sex is, as we talked about, when you just like devolve into laughter because
Yeah.
you know the angle that you're at is just like making
falling off the
worst
bed. Yeah.
noises. Yeah. You're just like,
Yeah. It's
oh my god, how are we supposed to not
How
laugh?
do you not laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And I think the only way to get to know somebody really and truly, whether it's bodily or emotionally, is being open to that.
Yeah.
But I think people are scared of that.
Of course.
Do you find yourself scared of that?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
What about now with this new guy, to circle back?
I mean, it's still all very scary, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that's part of it. If I wasn't scared, I would be concerned. Why am I not scared?
Yes.
But I think I love this menu, and it's here on the table.
I know, it's
mentally.
always-
it's here mentally. The waiters
It's
brought
like
over
one
the
of
menu.
those sushi places
Yeah.
where you're like, this one and
This
that one and
one.
this one.
I think the menu that we're creating is strong, and I'm excited to continue to explore the menu, if you will. And
Absolutely.
and I think that comes with a bit of fear, not
Yeah.
bad fear, not
Yeah.
like scary knife fear, but like fear.
Not scary knife fear. Do you like to be surprised in sex?
Rarely, but that's a trauma thing.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think again, it comes back to like I have to tell people that.
right.
That is on me to be like,
right.
please don't surprise me.
Yes, please.
That is
tell
not
what's
for me.
happening. Yeah.
Until maybe a year or two from now, and like I've known you forever, and I've like seen you literally fall on your face, like walk into a glass door. Then you can maybe surprise me some more.
Yeah, because
But
I know you're a human.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I appreciate this conversation because I think we've been pretty clinical. I think we've been pretty like, here's the history of what we're talking about, and this feels like more ground. Like now you know us a little better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Now you know us better.
I don't know.
For better or for worse. Now you know
And then
us.
next week we're getting right back into
Yeah. This is a personal moment, and then next
Yeah.
week we're going right back into the
Yeah, we'll give you
into the
personal
chaos.
moments
Yeah.
occasionally. But I really am excited for this new chapter and this new person and this new menu that you're curating.
We're trying it. Yeah. Yeah.
Any last words?
I want to know what's on your menu. That's how I feel. I love asking people. I'm going to ask
yeah.
people this question now. So I want to know what's on your menu. Maybe you can like get creative and like put it in a build the PDF. Go
Yeah,
into your
send it
Photoshop
to
and you
us.
build us the menu.
Yes.
You DM us.
Tell us your allergies and
Yeah.
any food aversions.
Yes, tell us if you have any food restrictions. Yeah.
And honestly, I hope you're not having hate sex, but I do hope you're having some kind of sex.
Yeah. Go get laid.
Go get laid.
Yeah. As she sips her coffee. Incredible. You led that. That was you.